stories and tips, and so I hate to interrupt that, but I do want to keep us kind of on our schedule. So I'm going to give you my short little spiel, and then we'll have another break for you to go down into your second breakout room. So whichever one you didn't get to go to last time around that you were really gunning for, hit that one up this time. But for now, I'm going to talk a little bit about tools and kind of about the process that we use at NPF to create these tools and how this meeting and your help is really important for that process. Am I up? I'm up. Cool. So, hopefully you've realized by now, if you look around you, that there are people and there are organizations here like NPF who understand what you're going through and who can offer resources and support. So even though sometimes it might feel like you're a little bit lonely out there, you are not alone as a caregiver of someone who has Parkinson's disease. Some stats about who you are right here in this room. So more than 150 registrants today. Thank you so much for being here. Again, we were kind of blown away by the response, which only underscores the fact that there is a big need for this type of meeting. So we hope to do more of this in the future. In this room, as of a few days ago at my last count, you were from 24 states and 4 different countries. We have some people who traveled a very long way to be here, and we really appreciate that. And hello to our online audience. We had more than 750 people register, 49 states. I hope that someone from Rhode Island signed up in the past few days, because that was the only one missing. The Ocean State, DC, Puerto Rico, 15 countries. So there are a lot of people in the same boat as you, which is both good news and bad news, I think. Turn to someone next to you, please, and give them a high five. You are doing a great job. Just by the fact that you are here today, you are doing something awesome for yourself and for your loved one with Parkinson's disease. So congratulations. Again, this is something that came to me a lot from our steering committee, is we have to tell people what a great job they're doing, because sometimes you just don't know, right? And so by being here, you're doing something awesome. So congratulations. Thank you. So that part about how NPF gets to an event like this. Research is a very big part of our mission, and I think Paul mentioned it this morning. The Parkinson's Outcomes Project is actually the largest ever clinical study of Parkinson's disease. We have nearly 10,000 patients enrolled along with caregivers. Fernando in the back eating his lunch runs that study. Wave, Fernando, thank you. So in any, in media hits with NPF, very often they're citing our research. And so, in the past, we've said, what's going on in caregiving? Well, let's look at this really big data set that we have, and I don't think anything on this slide will surprise you. There is a high prevalence of caregiver burden in PD. Go figure. And so if you don't know the acronym, the Parkinson's Disease Questionnaire assesses various aspects of Parkinson's disease, and a high score on that is a very strong predictor of caregiver burden. So that means the longer the person has Parkinson's, the more severe the disease is, the harder it is on the caregiver. So I think all of this makes sense, right? Another thing we looked at in caregiving was a change in caregiver. And so life happens. Someone gets sick, someone moves away, and a change in caregiver might happen, and that has a really big impact on both the person with Parkinson's and you, the caregiver. So whether it's from a spouse to another relative or paid help, we've found that women with Parkinson's tend to have to use formal paid caregiving more than men with Parkinson's, and that has a big impact, which makes sense. When someone's quality of life depends on your capacity, that's a lot of responsibility. I'm sure everybody in this room knows that. So that's one side of it. We're looking at the research. The other side is our resources and services. And so hopefully, at least by now, you're a little bit familiar with NPF and what we have to offer. There's a big resources list in the back of your program. And we have a lot of these folks here with us today. Paula and Sharon are next door with the people with Parkinson's. They're having a lot of fun over there. I hope if you've talked to anyone, they agree. I've poked my head in. They're playing games. They're relaxing while we do the tough stuff in here. And Adolfo over here runs our helpline. Thank you, Adolfo. He's moderating the webcast at the moment. Yes. If you leave here with one thing today, please leave with our helpline number, 1-800-4PD-INFO. Anything you need, give us a call. And our helpline has responded to more than 60,000 cases since it launched. So a lot of information and resources going on. And they get calls from people like you. Maybe you have called our helpline, and they're asking these questions, and And most of the time they have the answers, or they can direct you to the answers. And so we get all this information from the research side, and we get all this information from our direct contact with people like you, and we put that all together, and we get meetings like this. We get the Caring and Coping workbook that's in your bag. We get this website, CareMAP, caring for someone with advanced Parkinson's disease. So that's just a little bit of our process, and you are all integral to our process. I said it earlier, there's an evaluation form in your bag, and we really want your feedback. So please, fill it out. We're going to have, we'll be collecting them at the end of the day. Don't worry, we'll also send you an electronic version. We want to hear from you, because this helps us figure out where are the gaps and what needs you have that we can help fill. There were a lot of comments that came up about the actual tools that you need, the information about finances and transitions and dealing with the non-motor symptoms. So we're addressing some of that here, but we can't do it all in one day. So we want to hear from you about what you need, and hopefully we can help. So this is, again, just kind of the web of how it works for us at the National Parkinson Foundation. And you are right there in the middle. So it purposefully does not say people with Parkinson's. It says people affected by Parkinson's, because that's a little bit bigger, but it really impacts you as well. And so you're there at the core. And everything we do, our educational materials, our publications, our hospitalization kits, our helpline staff, our field staff, our centers of excellence, there's a nice list of those. Question? So that's a good question. So we do accept calls and emails, certainly, from all over the world, English and Spanish, our helpline, and we have a lot of materials in Spanish as well. We cannot ship internationally. We have tried that and have had problems, and the books just never arrive. But all of the information, definitely global, and we've been working with a lot of organizations internationally. That's how Miguel and his mom are here from Chile, because we were able to work with the airline, the cargo airline from Chile, who did it as a humanitarian effort to get aware and care kits and books down there. So we're branching out, but definitely calls and information in Canada, certainly we're right here. So please use our helpline number, our helpline at parkinson.org, but we're limited in mailing things to the US. But that's our web. And so I'm not going to spend much time on this book. It is in your bags. So hopefully you take it home and you're able to peruse it there. A lot of the same balance we were trying to strike here at this meeting of the kind of feel-good, relatable information, those stories from caregivers. When you're having that lonely day, you can open it up and say, that sounds like me. Okay, someone else has been through this. And then the really practical tips. So there are worksheets in there for keeping a diary of the Parkinson symptoms that you can share with the doctor, or you can share with the next person who comes in to take care of your loved one. So that makes it practical and kind of poignant. CareMAP is one I just wanted to spend a little more time on if you guys are not familiar with it. It's caremap.parkinson.org, and we thought we were very clever. It's caring, and it's a map for caring, but that MAP actually stands for Managing Advanced Parkinson's, because we did find, in talking to our centers of excellence, talking to our chapters, that there was a real need there for the people caring for someone as the disease progresses. And so I'll be the first one to admit, it's not the sexiest topics, not the videos on there get really into the nitty-gritty, but it's really important information on particularly how to help with activities of daily living. So we have 40 videos on there. All the blue bullets are those ADLs, and it goes into the details of all of these and kind of how you can help, the bathroom with the grab bars and, movement and falls walking, you can put the little X's on the ground, or how to help cue, all the sleep issues we were talking about in the breakout session on non-motor symptoms. So a lot of information. And then the orange bullets there, the stuff that we were focused on really this morning, how to help you, how to balance, life and caregiving and work and your health. All those really important details. Here's Adolfo again, disponible en español. We just launched earlier this year all of the 21 how-to videos in Spanish. So kind of getting to that more international audience question. As well as the US, there are plenty of native Spanish speakers here and not as many resources. So we're trying to address, create new stuff for them as well. So kind of wrapping up here. your caregiving toolbox, we have a lot of resources. All of these, well, they were out on the resources table, and now there are many fewer things there, which is great. It means you've taken them. But we have that list in our program. All of our materials are free. Any of the books, the kits, all of that, you can download it from our site. We can mail it out to you. There is a lot of information out there. I know we were talking about support groups in the breakout session that was in this room. And fortunately, many of you are involved in support groups, but unfortunately, some of you don't have them. And so we are now working with our chapters on developing a support group guide, kind of from soup to nuts, how to start one if there's not one in your area, and then, the tools that facilitators can use to keep those going. Because as many of you know, you started groups however many years ago, a decade ago, maybe more. That's a long time, whether you meet monthly or more than monthly, to keep up with the content. So we're working on that, and because we have all of your email addresses, because you're here or you're watching online, we will be sending you lots of information in the coming days, weeks, months, based on the summit. One here at the bottom, all the way over in the right corner, parkinson.org/forums. We do have a Caregivers Forum on there, so that can be used to ask any question and get feedback, just to voice your frustrations or your joys that day, whatever it is. It's a forum for caregivers. And we did start, and hopefully all of you were invited to it. If you weren't, I apologize. We had started a Facebook group for attendees of this meeting, and I know not everyone is on Facebook, but for many of you, that seemed to be a good way to stay in touch. So hopefully there's even more conversation now that you've met. But I would just want to end by saying, I guess the most important part, we're here for you. NPF, please let us know what else we can do. But you guys, each other. You are the network, and so I really hope, I'm sorry to have to interrupt that lunchtime conversation, but I really hope that you're able to stay connected to the people you've met here. There's a lot of people from this local area. There are a lot of people who've traveled really far to be here. So whether it's someone who is, close to you geographically, or just, an email or a phone call away, I really hope, we all hope at NPF that that's what you leave here with, are those connections, because you can really help each other. You know what you're going through, and you have those tips and tools and experiences. So that is all I have to say for now. You'll be seeing me pop back out. Oh, you have a question? No? I was going to just send you off to breakouts, but yeah, I can take a few, I think. I can take. CareMAP, it's online, so it's caremap.parkinson.org, and I can send that link out to everyone to make sure that you can just click it on your computer. Yeah. That was it? There were a couple, one more.
Geographically, is Parkinson's more prevalent in the United States, or is it just because we have the medicine here to document it?
That is a good question. I know we're saying, or the numbers that we're using right now are that there are about 1 million people in the U.S. with Parkinson's and about 10 million globally with Parkinson's. So yeah, that skews it definitely towards us. And no, we're all kind of shrugging. I don't have that's a very good question. I think it's partly probably what you said about actually keeping track. Yeah. Last one in the back, and then we'll break.
Does the National Parkinson's Foundation and the Michael J. Fox Foundation, the American Parkinson's Foundation, and all those foundations coordinate together?
It's a very timely question. We are actually in the middle of a merger with the Parkinson's Disease Foundation. So actually we are now the National Parkinson Foundation division of the Parkinson's Foundation. So we're working on it, is the bottom line. So we're about to do a lot more collaboration with that group. And I know there were some people here from APDA who I talked to, and Leilani can take the mic to comment a little more. Bottom line, yes, but there are certainly nuances.
And we will have a booth at the WPC, booth number 406, presenting ourselves as the Parkinson's Foundation. So we're very excited to partner with PDF and show you all how we're working together. So thank you for that question.
Okay. Hopefully you've all finished eating your lunches and your desserts, because now it's time to run to your next breakout session that starts in 3 minutes. So we'll see you all back in here at 2:20.